Welcome to Time Out 360. Today we have a special
Welcome
guest.
to Time Out.
We have with us today Miss Abby Ajayi. She is one of the most powerful women in Broward County
He is
nowadays.
one of
I I
the
say that because I want to
most
make the conversation very
so
light, very happy.
I say
But
that
listen,
because I want
tax
to make
collection in Broward County
life
is
collection
very difficult, and it is something that every one of us,
is
whenever we speak about
very
taxes,
difficult
we
and
have gray hair. And then
everyone
wherever we
whenever we
speak about the person who's collecting taxes from us, we're not happy about that person.
about the
But
person
however, taxes plays a great role in the development of a community. Taxes play a great role in the advancement of a community.
community
That's with taxes that we fund schools. Taxes give us security. We fund the sheriff, the police. Taxes help us with transportation and so many other things. So it is a duty for us as residents of Broward to pay our taxes and try to pay it on time. And moreover, if you don't pay your taxes on time, what's going to happen to you? Today, Miss Ajayi is going to make the conversation very simple for us. Is going to explain how the community benefits from tax collection and what is the responsibility of the person in charge of collecting tax in the county. Let me speak a little bit about Miss Abe. Miss Abe has an MBA in Florida from Florida Atlantic University, right there in Boca Raton, Florida. She holds a Florida collector certification as well. For 8 years, she's been collecting taxes in the Broward County. Previously, she worked in banking and financial services. She was the vice president of Union Bank, and she was a bank manager while being the vice president. Also, she was assistant vice president at First Union Bank, where she was a manager. In her career as investment advisor, she built a successful financial advisory practice at Smith Barney, and Abby has dedicated much of her life and continues to do so as her role as manager of Broward County Tax Collector's Office. So we have somebody here with us this morning who has the credentials to speak about taxes and who has the experience to explain to us what taxes is all about, why should we pay our taxes, and how we can make it easier for the residents of Broward County when it comes to paying the taxes. I would like to welcome Mr. Roger Pierre and Mr. Ari Jean-Louis in the conversation with us. And I'd like you, my listeners, to like the show, to subscribe to the channel, and to share it with your friends today. Thank you for watching. Welcome, Mr. Roger. Welcome, Mr. Louis, to Time Out 360 this morning. We have an excellent guest. We're going to talk about the impact of taxes in community development.
Good,
Welcome,
mor-
bienvenue, Roger.
good morning, Jay, and welcome to my listeners, to people that are following us on Time Out 360. We are very happy to be here this morning, and also we appreciate that I'll be taking the time from her busy schedule to be with us. Thank you very much, and without further ado, let me introduce Louis, which is our partner in crime. Louis, how are you, my friend?
We have to manage the AI. Louis has to manage the AI. So while we know that today we are on WSLF 980, 1580 AM, WSRF 1580 AM. We are very happy that Louis is here with us. And Louis, we need to hear your voice. We need to know what you have for us today. And we'll be happy if you can share the conversation with us.
Uh, good mo- uh, uh, Good day, everyone.
Thank you.
And I would like to welcome to our platform Miss Abby because she is one of the person that when I meet wherever I meet her, I have to take my hat down in front of her because when it comes to paying taxes, I would like
Mhm.
her to go easy on me.
Mhm. Well, taxi is very important because if you do not pay your taxes, you know what may happen. What could happen to, especially to your house. In this country, they don't pay with people they don't play with people that don't pay their taxes. Okay, especially
That,
in
that,
Florida.
that, that, that's
So
why
you
you have to be friend and respect,
taking off your
take
hat
care
to
of the
her,
tax
Harry.
collector.
Taking off your hat, Harry, doesn't exclude you from paying your taxes. Okay, you have to be nice. I understand, but you are going to have to pay anyway. Okay, my brother,
Mm,
you have to pay your taxes. That's one of the things. Remember, the person that we have today will cover why tax is important. Why do we pay our taxes, and where does that money go? Where did you know? And here we go. Without any further ado, we are going to introduce Miss Abby. Miss Abby, it's a pleasure to have you today. Pleasure to pleasure to have you this morning with us, and we appreciate you taking the time to be with us this morning on 1580 WSRF, one of the actually well-known and well-listened um, 1580 in the community. So
So,
we are
Roger,
really
can you give us, Roger, a little bit background on Broward County in terms of demographics, in terms of the
oh
value of the homes? What do we have? What do
man,
you know about Broward County?
Brown Brown County actually is I was shocked to know that Brown County is almost the size of Rhode Island. So for someone to pick up and work as in the city of Broward County as a tax no matter what, tax manager or whatever, it's a huge endeavor. So Broward County is not small. Broward County, we're talking about average houses around 348,000, only almost 248,600, but average 249,000. And you're talking about, excuse me, you're talking about the oldest city in Florida is in Broward County, which is Dania Beach. I didn't know that. I mean, doing my research, I found out that Dania Beach is the first city in Broward County since 1880. So it's not a small little thing. I mean, housing in Broward County, you have 800,000, over 867,215 houses, almost 900,000 houses in Broward County. So 62.8%. You're talking about this is like original owner occupied, 62.8%, like 63% of houses of unit that we have owner occupied. I might be wrong, but the data that I'm putting is like 2022. It's not
Mhm.
data like 2024. That's July
But
1st.
Broward County is a huge county. Broward County is so
Huge.
huge, it's as big
It's,
as Rhode Island State. You know that, right?
of course, I just yeah, it is as big as Rhode Island. It's almost it's 1.224.7 square mile. That's not small, man. That's a huge thing. No,
Roger, right now we're going to welcome Miss Abe in the conversation because she's the boss here today
that
and
she
she has
is.
the floor. Good morning, Miss Abe. Welcome to Time Out 360. She's the boss here today and she has the floor. Good morning, Miss Abe. Welcome to Time Out 360.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Miss Abe, Happy to hear you this morning. We would like to ask you first a little bit about yourself. I know I have a little bio. I just explained to our viewers and our listeners who you are. But in your own words, what can you say about yourself?
I am happy to be with you this morning, and I am a long-term resident of Broward County. Family is very important to me. I'm married with three kids, and I raise my children right here in Broward County. So Broward County is home. I've been living here for 42 years. And just like any immigrant that goes to another country, I came in as an immigrant, and I started working as a teller in a bank. And I worked my way up to vice president by the time I left the bank. So that's something that's not in my bio, but something in my career that I'm very proud of. In addition to that, I run an investment company of my own small business, and as a financial advisor, where I was just like any other small business in the county, where I opened the door with no clients, and I worked that business up to $54 million by the time I left. So I'm very proud of my career, and some of that is not in my bio, so I thought it was worth mentioning because you know that is something for other immigrants coming in, gives them the opportunity to see somebody like myself do something like that, and they feel that they can do that also. So I don't propose to be everybody's role model, but when something like that that's good happens, an immigrant can come in and emulate and do the same thing.
Uh, Go ahead, Roger.
I was going to say, I was going to compliment her about her accomplishment because this is actually very huge. Uh, I've been in that business myself, so I know for many years. I know how important, how difficult it is to build that kind of business. And I'm still active, but kind of like part time, because this is a great business to be. And also, same path. I was a VP too. So it's like, you name it. Immigrants, man, we making the way. And as long as you are disciplined and you know what you want in life, you're going to accomplish it. That's it. That's what success is. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Ms. Abby, can you give us some statistics on Broward County in terms of taxes being collected, how is it being used, and what's the profile for Broward County?
There's a delay.
Well, Broward County is the second largest county in the state. So we have a little bit over 2 million people that lives in Broward County. So we have this year, we're earmarked to collect $6.3 billion for the county. In a county this size, when you go around the county, you see developments going on, which means our tax base is increasing year after year. So we're projecting that next year, that tax collection will go up significantly, probably closer to $7 billion. And this is specifically for property taxes. We collect property taxes for Broward County, and those monies are earmarked for critical services in our community. For example, a lion's share of that goes to the school board for public education. We also have a portion of that going to BSO for safety, to keep us safe. And a portion goes to special hospital districts that cater to low income people. In addition to that, obviously, some of that goes to for county services that is provided to our residents in the county. So what we do is quite significant because those collections are earmarked for those services that are rendered to residents in our community.
Uh, Recently, I looked at the budget, the 2024 budget for Broward County. There is a lot of emphasis on cultural activities. There are a lot of grants available out there. There are a lot of opportunities for low housing. Is there any special funds available to help when somebody cannot pay the taxes, or what's available to the community if they are having difficulties?
So we strongly encourage any resident that's having difficulty paying their property tax to give us a call. Broward County is a county of 2 million people, like I said, very well diverse. So we have our seniors, we have veterans, we have people that live on fixed income, that property tax may not be affordable for them to be able to pay. So some of the things that we have done in this office is to make it such that they can split that payment. For example, our county website, we've made PayPal available, which with PayPal, they're able to, based on the eligibility requirement, are able to even split that payment into 12 payments. So we understand that property taxes are going up. So what we can do within the law, our office is dictated by statutes. So what we can do within the law is to make it affordable where the payments can be split into multiple payments. And we assist them with that. In
Have a
addition to that,
visitor.
I am aware
Press
that there
1
are
to be
agencies
connected.
across the county that help subsidize low income residents that are not able to pay their taxes. Each of them have their eligibility requirement, of course, and those are across the county, and we're able to provide some information to the residents to be able to contact those agencies that might be able to provide that assistance for them. But within our office, what we do in the tax collector's office, there's no funds set aside for that type of assistance. But across the county, there are agencies that assist with that. So we encourage every resident that cannot pay their taxes to give us a call so we can tell them what their options are and refer them to agencies that may be able to assist them.
I think that's an excellent answer, Miss Abby. But for our listeners, can you and viewers as well on social media, can you clarify which taxes your office is responsible for? Because there are so many different taxes. We have property taxes where people get like the homestead exemption. You have the sales tax. You have taxes on businesses like the local business tax. You have the taxes for unemployment and all that. Can you specify exactly what your office is responsible for? And also, can you give us some clarification on the homestead exemption?
So did you hear the question, Miss Abe?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought I was waiting to get the full question. Absolutely. We can, yes, absolutely. I can provide information on those issues that are raised. The tax collector's office, the duties that we do here are strictly dictated by law. So the primary function of the tax collector's office is to collect certain types of taxes. And the reason we have tax collector to begin with dates back to the 1800s, where the state feels that having a local constitutional officer that's closer to the people is a more efficient way of collecting taxes that are utilized for local residents. So for our office, we are governed by statute 197, which tells us specific duties that we have to do. For example, we collect property taxes, which is a lion's share of what we do. In addition to that, we collect business tax, tangible taxes. This is tax that's assessed on business equipment that value over $25,000. In addition to that, we issue business licenses. And we have other duties that we do as agent of the state. For example, we issue fishing and hunting license. We are also acting as the agent of the state by providing auto tag and title services for our residents. So those are the main duties that we do in this office that are dictated by law. So property tax is the lion's share of it, and that's what's about 6.3 billion between property tax and some of the tangible taxes that we collect. And our role simply is to collect that and distribute it to all the taxing authorities that use those funds to provide critical services in our communities across the board.
Okay, but some people are kind of confused when it comes to homestead exemption.
Mhm.
Can you clarify who is eligible, when, how to get it, and if you don't get it, how many houses? I don't know. Can you get a homestead
Mhm.
exemption on all those little details that are confusing people out there, taxpayers?
Thank you so much. I'm glad you brought that up. And I'd like to clarify that every single chance I get. So you're speaking with Abby. I'm the manager of the Broward County Tax Collector's Office. Marty Kier is the tax assessor. And what he does is he handles homestead issues. So when he assesses properties, some residents are eligible for homestead, some are not. So he would be the right person to speak to regarding homestead exemptions. So because the way the law is dictated, we work with several agencies across the county. And Marty Care's office is one office that we work with very closely. For example, if a resident applies for homestead exemption, once that homestead exemption is granted, that has a reflection on their tax bill. And this office, the tax collector's office, is the one that will make the necessary adjustment to the tax amount and send it out. So the property appraiser assesses the properties, and the local authority, your city commission and the county commission, determines the rate that will be applied to that assessed value per thousand for us to come up with a tax amount. So any issue regarding homestead exemption, and there's so many other exemptions available that people need to be aware of. Homestead exemption is you're eligible for homestead exemption if that's your primary resident. Only your primary resident is eligible for homestead exemption. So Marty Care's office, the property appraiser, can speak more to that. But I am aware that there are other exemption, widow exemption, senior exemption, long-term senior resident exemption, medical exemption. So there's a whole list of exemptions that our residents may qualify for. And what I do is strongly encourage everyone to visit the property appraiser's office, reach out, and they'll be able to evaluate and tell each person what exemptions they're eligible for.
That's wonderful, Ms. Abe, and I'm glad you clarified that homestead exemption, the difference between the tax collection process and the evaluation of the home. So, Roger, I know you have another question for Ms. Abe. Please go ahead.
What is the rate? Uh, that is the tax rate in Broward County, actually. You mentioned earlier that the taxes are going to go up. Now, it's a two questions. Two-part questions. I need to know the rate, the tax rate right now, and also what makes taxes go up in that county. Because apparently you mentioned earlier there is a lot of construction. The basis is getting bigger and bigger. Now I don't understand why is it going up? Why is it going to go up on residents? That's I'd like to know that.
Good question. Very good.
Okay, so just to clarify, your question is regarding property tax going up.
Yes.
Okay, so as far as the reason for property tax going up is the cost of living has gone up. And as I previously stated, the city commission and the county commission, they have their budgets and they decide what needs to be spent for each city. I am not privy to that. So what I strongly encourage is every resident to go to their city commission meetings when they're deciding, making decisions about the budget for the year. Because out of that hearing comes the rate that they're going to be charging that we apply to the assessed value to come up with the amount that you're charged. So every city, if you go to every city website, you will be able to see the budget and what the money is being used for. But that is outside of what the tax collector does. Each city comes up with their own rate and is voted on. So I strongly encourage every resident to take a look at that information and see how those monies are applied.
Miss Abby, there is a, while we're talking about rates, I think there is a rate for Broward. I think it's called the mileage. I mean, what is the mileage? What does that come from? What is it used for?
As I previously stated, that is just the rate that we use to calculate the property tax that's due for each property. If you look at a tax bill, there's a listing of all taxing authorities and what the rate for each authority is. So a total, when you total all that rate and you apply it to the assessed value per thousand, that's how we come up with the um, tax amount for each property. So the millage rate is what each taxing authority charges that that particular resident falls within. You know, for example, people living in city of Lauderhill versus people living in Plantation or Parkland, each of them would have different authorities that are assessing. Some of them will be the same, but others would have different taxing authorities that's assessing a particular rate, millage rate, that we use to determine the tax amount when that's applied to the assessed value.
Uh, a follow-up question to that. I know that the budget for this year for Broward County is about $8.6 billion. I would like to know how much of that budget comes from tax collection,
Yes.
and because we know we have probably a contribution to that budget from the state, from the federal government, and also eh, eh, do you have any idea when those taxes are collected, what's the priority? What is our tax money used for, especially when it comes to the taxpayers' interface? We pay the taxes. We know that there might be some intangible expenses that are not connected to us. But when you talk about hospital, police officers, fire department, and all that, which as you said, the lion's share comes from property taxes. Now, which department, which services takes the lion's share out of our taxes?
Okay. Okay, I can speak specifically to property tax. So the county as a whole has several sources of funding that comes in into the county, but specifically the piece of it, the portion of it that comes from property tax, 25 cents on the dollar goes towards to Broward County to provide county services. And as I previously said before, the school board takes a lion's share of what we collect. I can speak specifically about the tax collector's office, what we collect and what that is used for. Every tax bill receives a brochure that gives you a pie chart and a breakdown of how the money that we collect is applied. For example, like I said, county services is 25 cents, the school board is 32 cents, and the cities 20 cents. So it breaks it down per dollar how much, how many cents go to each entity. So that information is included in every tax bill that we mail out. So I can speak to the portion of the taxes that we collect here in the tax collector's office. But the county does have funds from other agencies across the county, and those monies are also utilized, per the budget of the county. So I can only speak specifically about the tax collector's office.
I would like to reach out on a different level with you. You are the current manager of the tax collector's office, and I know we have a big island population in Broward County, Haitian, Jamaicans, Trinidadians. We have a mixture of culture in Broward County. What kind of services, what kind of efforts does the tax collectors do to outreach, to do an outreach to the community, to do an outreach to the Haitian community, so that we can be informed of what's going on in the in the collector's office? To the Haitian community, so that we can be informed of what's going on in the collector's office.
Right. So in the tax collector's office, this office cater to everyone that owns a property in Broward County. In addition to that, we also cater to business owners. We besides property tax, we cater to people with business taxes. For example, we have a lot of immigrants that have small businesses, and every business in Broward County is expected to have a business tax receipt, and that costs a nominal fee. And what that does, it gives that business owner an opportunity to interact, for example, with our Office of Small Business and Economic Development, where they assist their business. They provide a lot of training in business planning, for example, on how to set their budget, on how to market, how to reach out to their target market. There's also agencies across the county that I'm familiar with that do those kind of provide those kind of assistance to small businesses across the board. Agencies such as SCORE, agencies such as the Urban League. So that's not limited to those two, but there are several agencies across the county that provide those services to small business owners. And also, as I previously stated, we have agencies across the county that provide assistance to people that are not able to pay their taxes, that we will refer them to once we become aware of that. We do have a lot of information about uh, what we have available in our office, as I previously stated, the making it affordable by splitting the payments, for example. Those are opportunity advantages that we have that we can communicate in terms of assisting our our community to be able to make those property tax payments. So special outreach, specifically from the tax collector's office, we I see us as the starting point where somebody reaches out to us and we're able to direct them to other agencies across the county that are providing those type of services that they need.
Thank you for the answer. I'd like to go back on Homestead, if you don't mind. I've got a quick
Sure.
question on the Homestead. Do we, is it based on the assess value or the value of the property that the set of the Homestead exemption? I think you mentioned that. I just want to clarify that.
Well, again, the property appraiser is responsible for homestead exemptions. They're responsible for assessing properties, and there's a lot of exemptions, as I previously stated. Homestead happens to be the big one because
Mhm.
it's the 25,000 homestead that's a significant amount. So qualification for homestead are listed with the property appraiser's office. So those are conversations that should be had with the property appraiser where they're able to provide that information. I'm able to get that information and provide it. For Jay, I can give you that information. There's a listing of all the exemptions that are available, and there's quite a lot of them. Unfortunately, most people are more familiar with homestead exemption, so because that's what everybody talks about. but there's a lot of other exemptions that our community members may be eligible for that they don't know about. And again, I strongly encourage them to contact the property appraiser's office and have a one-on-one conversation where they will go through each person and determine what are the exemptions they're eligible for. Maybe because they're senior, their income, and their medical situation. So those are things that are handled by the property appraiser. I'm happy to provide that information or to have somebody contact you to speak specifically to those things.
Might be a
Since
good
you
idea
are,
to let people
since,
know what the exemptions are and how
Absolutely.
can they, the benefits from them. I'm not saying taking advantage, but benefits from this exemption. Thank you for answering that question. Louis, you said you have a question, Louis. Go ahead, sir.
yes, I think because of lack of information, a lot of small business owners don't go and apply for the BTR because they are kind of scared of the taxes that will come after that. And as you just mentioned, there will be no taxes if the business doesn't have property that's worth more than 25,000. How do you go about letting those very small, teeny tiny business owners know that it's okay for them to go and apply? And how do you go about assessing that's $25,000, whether or not they have $25,000 or more of property in their business?
Mhm. Well, I'm happy you asked that question because that's one of the things that I care about the most businesses. When I was in banking, I assisted a lot of businesses, startups, get started basically. I was at that time I was the manager of the Union Bank, vice president of the bank at that time, and we had a lot of small businesses around where my office was, and they were not able to get a loan to open that next store or to really run their business as they should. And one of the tools that was available to us at that time was there was SBA guarantees. The Small Business Administration was providing guarantees for loans that the bank issued. So I was able to get them a loan that was guaranteed by the SBA. And again, a lot of issues with small businesses are yes, they're worried about showing how much they make or the taxes that will be assessed. So it's important for them to get that information so that they're not afraid. One of the things that we did was I, I got a couple of my friends that we went to school together. They were CPAs, and they were able to provide them with a template to track their income, to track their expenses. So after 1 year, we had a record. So record keeping is another issue for our small businesses. So by that time, they had a record that we could present to the SBA that shows that yes, they are making money and these are the expenses, and they were able to get those loans guaranteed by the Small Business Administration. The Broward County's Small Economic and Small Business Development Office, they have an annual symposium where they welcome all businesses to come in, and they invite a lot of agencies to provide information to small businesses. There's actually one coming up in May, and I encourage all small businesses to come and attend and visit the different booths for agencies within the county that can assist them and provide them with information. Uh, some of the advantages to also getting a business tax receipt, which every business is required to do, to have, they're usually a nominal fee. But what that allows them to do is if there's a grant from the federal government or the local government, they're able to qualify for those grants that will assist them with their businesses. They also have grants in terms of not necessarily money. They have grants where they can actually go through a training program to assist them grow their business. So all those are available across the county. So I encourage all small businesses to attend this symposium coming up. And again, I'm happy to provide that information to Jay so we can circulate it in the community so they can show up and walk through the convention center and meet with different vendors, different agencies across the county that provide the services.
I'm very happy to hear that you can share that information with me because we have a platform where we try to educate, inform, and connect with our community. Because most of the time, the information is out there, but the community members, the resident of Broward County, we work so hard. We have two jobs, and sometimes we don't have time to go to the county and be able to get that information. I'll be very happy to have that information from you and be able to distribute that information on the platform to the community. But one thing I would like to ask you, that is part in our community, we think it has to do maybe with predatory practices where investors take advantage of homeowners who cannot pay the property taxes, and they become victims of those investors where they lose their houses because of non-payment. How does your office assist these residents and avoid the catastrophe of losing the houses because of non-payment of taxes?
So we strongly encourage everyone that if you cannot pay your taxes, reach out to us and let us tell you your options. Number one, uh, if it's a situation where they have some of the money, they don't have the rest of the money, we have agencies across the county, as I previously said, that can assist with that. This is a very good question, and I'm glad you asked that question, Jay, because our seniors, our veterans, they're taking advantage of across the county. People are preying on them, meaning they're taking advantage of them. Some of them are losing their home. They're signing documents that they should not be signing. So our office, when we know about that, or we hear about somebody struggling, or somebody that signed a document that they shouldn't have, the property appraiser has a service called owner alert, and that service simply notifies the homeowner if somebody tries to change their deed. A lot of times when those documents are placed in front of somebody that's under duress because they can't pay their taxes, they just sign it. They tell them it's something else. They don't know they're signing their homes away. So Broward County is the leading county in deed fraud, where people's home are getting taken from them because they sign a document, or simply because somebody files a fraudulent deed and take ownership of their homes. So we do have a unit inside the property appraiser's office that handles those criminal activities, and we are very serious about prosecuting those type of people. So usually it starts with an elderly person, somebody that's low income and they're struggling and they get taken advantage of. So what we advise them to do is, if you cannot pay your taxes, call us. Let us tell you what your options are. Because you can't pay your taxes this year doesn't mean you lose your home. Each individual situation is different, and I would love to have that conversation with each person so we can better direct them.
My question is, since you are the one setting up the tax rate, and we know, according to you, that property taxes are about to go up. Don't you think that, for example, homestead, because when we look at inflation, prices keep going up, but people's paychecks stay the same. What about if the taxes do go up on properties, raising the amount for homestead exemption as well for homeowners? Because if I have to pay more taxes, it's going to be hard for me to pay those taxes. Probably people, a taxpayer should have a bigger break on homestead exemption. What do you think about that idea?
Well, I mean, with homestead exemption, again, the property appraiser's office determines who is eligible for homestead exemption, and there's specific rules and laws that govern that. So once you establish, another information that our community members should have is that once you establish a homestead, Okay, there's a law called Save at Home that protects the value of your home from going up more than 3% per year. So that keeps that taxes down. So if you're not meeting with the property appraiser and you're not getting the exemption that you deserve, that's one of the disadvantages also. Because if you have homestead exemption, the law protects your assessed value from going too far up than it should. Each year, the percentage is established by law. This year was 3%, where your appraised value cannot go more than 3% over the previous year. So everyone that has homestead in Broward County has that protection. And our community members should get that information, that you seek that exemption if they're qualified, and that will keep their taxes low. Uh, the other things that can be done, I strongly encourage everyone to attend the city commission meeting and the county commission meeting, where the rates are determined, uh, of what the rate they give us, the rate those organizations, those entities give us the rate that should be applied to their appraised value to come up with the tax amount for each property. So your city commission, your county commission, they have their budget. You will be able to see how they arrive at those numbers. So homestead exemption, very important. If they're eligible, they certainly should get that homestead exemption, and that keeps their appraised value from going more than 3% per year for this year.
Thank you, Mr. B. I've got another question regarding lien, property taxes, the house lien. Is there a minimum time that the city will determine or county will determine to put a lien on your house for taxes? For example, 6 months you don't pay or 7 months you don't pay, to put a lien.
Is there, okay, so I believe the question is, how long does it take for the county to put a lien on the
That
property?
that's correct. How do
Okay,
they assess the lien?
so if, for example, this year we are collecting 2023 tax year. So for 2023, if the property tax is not paid by May 24th, we will sell a tax certificate on the property. Selling a tax certificate on the property does not mean that they lose their home or we take over their home. Basically, what we are charged is to collect as close to 100% of the taxes as possible. And this is a way for us to collect the taxes. Somebody else pays the taxes for them, and for that, there's an interest that's paid. And when the homeowner is able to pay that taxes, they pay us, we pay that person the amount they put out plus interest, and that's the end of it. The homeowner, the home is not jeopardized in that situation, and the homeowner has some time. It buys them some time to be able to come up with the money.
But
So
we know
there's
Uh,
that
no
Miss
lien put
Go-
on the house at that point.
Miss Abe, we're coming to the end of the show. We know that Broward County is one of the counties that, out of the 67 counties in Florida, that has an election for the tax collector's office. I would like to know, what is your situation? Are you running for that office? What changes can you bring to that office? What is your situation? Are you running for that office? What changes can you bring to that office?
Thank you, Jay, for that very important question. This office is a very important office for the county. The tax collector's office, as I previously stated, collects 63 billion this year for the county. And that money is earmarked for critical services in our community. I'm the manager of the Broward County Tax Collector's Office, and I've been doing this job for 8 years. I bring to my candidacy, I am running for this constitutional office, that this new constitutional office. I've been running this office for 8 years. I have an MBA from Florida Atlantic University, and I'm certified by the Florida Department of Revenue to collect taxes. So I'm bringing to my candidacy 8 years of solid experience under Broward County, plus my qualifications from my career over the span of over 30 years where I've been in financial services industry. So going forward, what I'm looking forward to the most is opening an outreach department. We talked a lot this afternoon about getting information to our community, being present with them so they can share, they can come to us and feel secure in coming to us and seeking help and advice and information. So I am looking forward to running as a candidate. And what I'm going to do on day one is open an outreach department. Very, very important for us to uh, be in the community that we serve, bring the service one on one to our community members. We want to build on the solid foundation that we've established under Broward County. Broward County, we operate under Records, Taxes, and Treasury Division, and we've been doing this over and over again for the past 8 years with no incident. So we want to build on that solid foundation and expand services location across the county and consolidate services. This outreach department will be critical in those efforts to get to our community members, to give them the information they need, and to service them in the manner that they deserve. And I'm very much looking forward to doing that.
Miss Abe, I would like to know, as an elected official, one, I'm not going to say if you win that election. I will say when you win that election in August. How long is going to be your tenure? Will you be able to run for re-election? Is it a one-term office, or you can re-run for election as long as you want? And I would like also to know what the average BTR for businesses in Broward County, because some people may be scared to apply for the BTR because they think it's a lot of money.
Okay, so thank you for that question. I'm hearing that you want to know how long this new constitutional office, what the term is. The term is 4 years, and we have a lot to accomplish within those 4 years. Like, and as I previously stated, we will be expanding. We will be opening an outreach department. In addition to that, we will be taking over driver's license offices. Those offices right now, we have five of them across the county. We want to bring them into the fold, and we want to make them work for our community as they should. So there's a lot of work to be done, and it's all targeted towards our community, being present, giving them information, being available to help and assist across the county. Because right now we have one office downtown. So the information is not easily accessible for our community members, and we want to make sure that they get the information they need for their specific situation. We're going to be in their community, and we're going to be talking one on one with our residents.
Mr. Abi, we are going to be, I mean, we are running out of time, but I have a quick, it's not a question. Actually, I would like to ask you, would you come back on our platform? We appreciate your time. Would you come back? Promise? Because we need to educate our people.
Absolutely. I'm all for that. I want to educate, I want to provide information about our services, what we have to offer, how we can help people. Because that's what we do. We solve problems, we help our community members. We want to share information, useful information that can make their life better, to make them sleep better at night. People worry too much about things that they don't know about. So providing the information certainly helps to alleviate those concerns. So when they have the information in hand and we're readily available for any question and for support, I think that's a good thing.
Miss
Thank you.
Abby, on the last 10 seconds, can you give us your contact information if somebody want to reach out to you?
Miss Abby, on the last 10 seconds, can you give us your contact information if somebody wants to reach out to you?
Okay, so I can be reached at Abby for tax collector at gmail.com, and also on my website, abiajayi.com.
Thank you, Miss Abby, for being with us this morning. We had a great conversation, but unfortunately, it's always too short. 1 hour goes by so fast. Thank you for being here. Hope to see you another time.
Thank you very, very much for your time. We
And
appreciate it.
thank you. You have a happy Good Friday.
Thank you for being here. Hope to see you another time.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. When we have a platform to provide information, I'm always available. please feel free. Thank you for what you do. Keep doing what you're doing. We really, really need it. Our community members need it. And I'm always available to share the information. Thank you very much for having me.
I would like to say to our audience, thank you for watching. Please share the video, share this